Hey everyone, it's Marisa here, and today I am doing a video all about what books I recommend for the summer. So last summer I uploaded a video about all the recent books I've read and what I recommend for people to read during the summer, and it kind of took off compared to my other videos. I'm not sure exactly how many views it got, but it got way more than what I normally get, and it was really fun for me because I just love talking about books. I love to read. The thing is though, during the school year I'm very busy and it's hard for me to make time to read, even though I really do try. But the summer is a great time for me to go and read all the books that I've been wanting to because I have some extra free time. I kind of want to start doing these videos more often, but I don't really know how often you guys would like to see them, so if you could let me know in the comments, that would be great. Obviously, it's been a whole year since I've done one of these, and I don't know if I should do them every season or try to do one every month, or what you guys would really be interested in. But yeah, so I'm just going to go through some books I've recently read and books that I think a lot of people would really like and would be good for the summer. Alright, so book number 1 is I'll Give You the Sun, which is by Jandy Nelson. This has become one of my favorite books ever. First of all, the cover is super cute. And the hardback one is really cute as well. But this book is just very, very well written. It's about a brother and a sister who are twins and kind of like their whole family, and it's about love and them growing up and like finding out who they are and all this stuff. And it's just really amazing, and it's written from both of their perspectives and at different times. So that sounds really confusing, but it works and it's totally awesome. I recommend it. I got this book for Christmas. I actually bought it for a friend, but then I bought it for myself as well so we could read it together. I thought that'd be cute. I really enjoyed it. I should probably ask her what she thought of it because we haven't really touched base on it, but I really thought it was an amazing book and it's one of my new favorites. Totally recommend. 10 out of 10. The next book I wanted to talk about is called Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and I thought I would talk about this one just because I know it's a little more popular. I've seen it on the shelves of Target multiple times. So this became a movie probably like a year ago now, and I think it kind of had some hype around it just because it's very similar to the idea of The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, because it's about a boy and a girl and the girl has cancer. Very different, and honestly I did not really like this book, but I thought I would talk about it because it's a very interesting book. I've never read a book like it before. Point of view was very weird. I think it'd be really relatable for maybe like a teenage boy, not really for me. I couldn't really connect with him, but he was very interesting. And then his best friend's name is Earl, and he is one of the most interesting characters I've ever read in a book before. And since I, vividly remember him, it couldn't have been that bad of a book. I talked about this book with my friend Shantae because we're kind of book pals and we talk about books, and we both agreed it's a really weird book. But since it's kind of memorable, maybe it's not that bad. If you guys have read this book, let me know what you think about it. I thought I would say something about it since I did read the whole entire thing. The next book I have to talk about is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. This book has been really talked about in other videos I've watched of people recommending books because it became a movie, and if you've seen the movie, it is amazing. It's literally so good. I would say as far as like a book adaptation, it was really good. Of course they had to cut out stuff, but I think it still worked out really well and they modernized it and it was great. I don't know, let me know what you thought of it. But anyway, so yeah, the book is very different. It's set in the UK, so there's a bit of slang in there that like I was kind of like, what? But that's just because, it's set in the UK. I read an Australian book once and literally some of the stuff I like had to Google because I didn't know what they were talking about, but this one wasn't as bad. There was a lot of references that I thought were super interesting. They talked about this French film in the book, not in the movie, that I've actually watched in French, which was so cool. And they talked about like the Save, which I learned about in French class, so that was really cool. But anyway, to the story. The ending especially is just phenomenal. It really gets you. I'm not in a relationship right now, but I took so much away from this because it's kind of about life in general and living it to your fullest and all that kind of stuff, which sounds super cheesy, but like the way it's written, you'll just be like, what? And like you'll cry, but like in a good way, and the movie's really great too, so I just recommend both of them. The next book I wanted to talk about is by Gail Foreman, who wrote If I Stay, which is one of my favorite books ever. And since I like that so much, I wanted to check out another one of her books. So I got this one, and it's called Just One Day. And to be honest, I really don't know how I feel about this book. It's a really light summer read. It's not like super dramatic or like you have to pay attention super hard. So that's kind of nice, but the storyline I feel like is just kind of like so. I found it relatable. It's about a teenage girl who goes on a trip to Europe, and it ends up being a really significant trip, even though it's kind of lame to her, because it like starts a spiral of her finding out like who she really is and like what she wants to be doing with her life, and not just follow what she like thought she was supposed to be doing, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so it definitely wasn't as good as If I Stay, because If I Stay is amazing. It's still pretty good. There's a sequel to it, so I'll probably read that as well. I end up really just kind of like relating to the main character, because I really want to go to Europe after high school and stuff like that, so I probably just want to see how the story ends and everything like that. So yeah. The next book I have is called All the Bright Places, and oh my gosh, this book. This is about a girl named Violet and a boy named Finch. Very unique story, and this is like, I'll give you the sum because it's from 2 point of views, but they're not brother and sister, they're just kind of friends, and they might become more. I don't know, you're gonna have to read it to find out. A really interesting way to write. I really love the characters and how they developed. I got super close to them. I thought it was really good, and it kind of inspired me a little bit to kind of, you know, try to see the beauty in everything. That sounds cheesy, but when you live in a place where like they live and it's just kind of all so all the time, it's a really important like mentality to have. And it touches on like depression and anxiety and different like disorders like bipolar disorder, and so I think that's like a good discussion to bring up. I love this book, but I like am awkward about it too because like of how it ends and everything. I don't know, it's hard to explain. This next book is a little different. It is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesney, and I read this in school actually, and this book was one of the craziest but best books I've ever read, and I just thought I would talk about it just because it's probably gonna stay up there on one of the, you know, best books I've ever read lists, and I feel like you guys deserve to know that. It's about a hospital ward that's like run by this nurse who has total power over everyone, and then all of a sudden this new guy comes in and is shaking everything up, and yeah, it's just a crazy book. Definitely more mature though, so definitely wait till you're in high school to read it. It was really good and just made you think a lot about, you know, society and everything, so that was cool. Also at school we read The Natural, The Scarlet Letter, and what was the other one we read by Oscar Wilde? The Picture of Dorian Gray, which was probably my second favorite after Cuckoo's Nest for what we read. The next book I wanted to recommend is Will Grayson, Will Grayson. I actually read this last summer, but I find myself flipping through it sometimes. As you can see through all my books, I have bookmarks for pages I like to look back on. But yeah, so this is actually from 2 points of view. Again, there's like a common theme with that, I guess, right now. So this book is just totally cool. I don't know what to say other than it's great. I love all of John Green books, and I think it's especially cool when he collaborates with other authors because two brains put together can make some amazing things. The only John Green book I haven't gotten a chance to read yet is Let It Snow, which I'm like, why would I read that in the middle of summer? But I'm probably going to because I really want to read it. But yeah, so I really like this book, and I thought I would bring it up because John Green is one of my favorite authors. The next book I wanted to talk about is called The Book of Unknown Americans, and I picked this up on my trip in Oregon because it seemed like a nice book that I could just kind of throw in my bag, not too big or anything like that, but I had no idea what was in store for me. I heard someone talk about this one time and I just recognized it and got it, but oh my gosh guys, this book is so good. I feel like this is a book that should be like taught in class, but at the same time I don't want it to be taught in class because when kids have to read stuff in class they automatically like hate it sometimes. It is so good. So basically it is a book and it focuses kind of on this one girl who was just in a very traumatic accident in her family and how they moved to America, but it also talks about all the other different characters and their backgrounds and how they came to America, and they all live in this one building. But yeah, so it's literally phenomenal. It reminds me of another book I read about Asian immigrants in America and how like they thought it was crazy, like they all moved to California and like had jobs in like fortune cookie factories, and they were like, this, we don't even do this. And you know, wherever they're from, China or Japan, whatever, like, why do Americans think we eat this? It's kind of the same thing. It was especially interesting because my mom is Mexican and her whole family, you know, came from Mexico and everything, and the main character was from Mexico, but we have characters in here from, you know, Guatemala, Panama, like all these different places. It's just really good. Like I could not recommend it enough. It's less than 300 pages, so if you ever have a chance, please read this. But yeah, so those are the books I recommend for the summer. A lot of them obviously I just finished, but a few of them I just threw in there just to like mix it up, some good, some bad. The book that I'm currently reading right now is Eat, Pray, Love, and I kind of just picked this up from the library because I have been on a travel kick and I just want to go everywhere right now. I'm getting my passport this summer, which is super exciting, and it's just like if I have my passport then I can go anywhere, right? I am about not even a third of the way into this, but yeah, it's been a really good summer read. In the summer I like to read, you know, funny stuff, but a lot of those books are really sad, so I guess I kind of gotta even it out. But yeah, so this is what I'm reading right now. And then the two books that I will probably be reading next is The Silent Sister and Strange Girl. These books have just kind of been sitting in my room, both as birthday gifts, and I haven't read them yet, so that makes me feel kind of bad. But yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to be reading next. And then of course whatever you guys recommend, because I love getting recommendations. So on my video I went through all the comments and I put together a whole Amazon wish list of the books I want to read, so I will link that down below if you want to see what other people are recommending, because it's just kind of always interesting to find out. But yeah, there's tons of great recommendations down there in the comments, and I kind of followed some of those. I know someone recommended All the Bright Places, and that was a really great book. So yeah, I just love talking to you guys about books, and I would love for you guys to let me know again how often you want to see videos like this, because it's super fun to make them. But yeah, so have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video.